I want to welcome you to this systematic theology course on salvation, the church, and the Holy Spirit. These will obviously be covered over the course of the semester. And so, as we dive into this first lesson, before we start this course, I want to encourage you on two things before we begin. Firstly, make sure you familiarize yourself completely with the course requirements and the demands in the course directives. Doing this early will help you manage your time more appropriately and see what lies ahead for the course. Also, prepare yourself to do a lot of reading. I give this warning to all the systematic courses, but systematics is a heavy reading subject. And so I encourage you to read early, read often, and especially don't wait for the exam time to start, because by that time it's way too late. Also, read to understand the perspective of the authors. This will help you understand where they're coming from and understand the texts better. So with that in mind, let's dive into this lesson. In this lesson, we'll cover the doctrine of the Holy Spirit, looking particularly at the person of the Holy Spirit. Now, the person of the Holy Spirit is a mysterious being. But he is a being who is the seal of God in the believer. He empowers us to do works of ministry. He creates the bonds of love within the body of the church. And so we ask, who is this person? And to me, this is one of the most important doctrines to grasp as theologians, so we can face the challenges of the Christian life, which is a supernatural life. This being, the Holy Spirit, is mysterious because he is God. This means that we are peering into the infinite and attempting to understand. This is an attempt to understand an infinite teaching. And so I encourage you to read through chapter 41 of Erickson, read it carefully, and track with the course notes, which will help you kind of guide your engagement with Erickson, our textbook. Some things to consider as you do your reading. Ask the question, why does Erickson place the study of the Holy Spirit right after the doctrine of atonement? Is this important? How is this related to his particular theological systems? Just having these in mind will help you understand the different emphasis he has and why he's emphasizing this in this section. I would also encourage you to go a little bit further into the historical debates than Erickson does. If you can get hold of James Leo Garrett's systematic theology, he has a much deeper engagement on this section. Unfortunately, his work is expensive and out of print, so if you can get it, I'd say get it now. I've found Leo Garrett invaluable as a theological engagement on any topic of theology. If you can't get hold of Garrett, look through Eb Cohost, see if you can supplement this section, especially engage in the early church works of maybe Basil the Great or Gregory of Nazianzus. The 5 orations by Gregory is fantastic. Finally, it is vital at the end of this, you have a solid understanding of the Holy Spirit's reality as God and his nature as the third person of the Holy Trinity. So get that into your mind. I found that many people tend to undermine their theology by a weak grasp of this and a weak grasp of the power of the Holy Spirit in us, that it's God in us, not an aspect of God, but God himself as the third person of the Godhead who dwells within the believer. This should cause us to wonder because it is a truly awesome idea. And so with that in mind, may you worship as you study the wonders of God, particularly the person of the Holy Spirit.